Hi, this is Carrie Ellis with Super Immunity Soup. Today we're making squash soup and it is really seriously awesome. This is about using ingredients that help keep us more healthy in the wintertime. We also need to detoxify our bodies, live on a healthy diet, and all that sort of thing. But we're just going to talk about soup today. And this is soup without meat broth as a base. Instead, we start out creating a base. This is about a saucepan that I put about 2 quarts of water into, and then I baked some squash, winter squash. We have a big green squash here. I don't even really know what it's called. They have all different names, but this is an organic squash I got at the local natural food store. So I bake these for about 45 minutes to an hour until the meat on the inside gets soft, and then I take the seeds out, and then I take the squash and I add it to the broth that I've started with. So we just spoon the squash out of the shell, and it just nicely goes into the pot. And I'm actually going to add more at this point. I've got the soup already started and partially made, so we're just adding a little more squash to it. And then we have butternut squash, which is very common in the market, and we can use that as well. So we started out with water in the pot, and then we used my basic immunity soup ingredients that you should always have in your house if you live in a northern climate and like to have soup in the wintertime. There's ways to make raw soups and cooked soups, but these are vegan, vegetarian, without meat or meat broth. Incredibly nutritious. We start out with the water in there and some chunks of ginger. Ginger root you can buy in the market, and I like to put big chunks in so I can pull them out later. Not everybody likes to chew on ginger. It's kind of hot and spicy. Elephant garlic, and we have cloves of garlic. Of the elephant garlic are really big, and garlic has in it allicin, which is similar to penicillin. So we peel the garlic cloves, chop a few of those up, and put them in there. If you'd rather be able to pull them out as well, you can leave them whole. A whole onion, whatever kind of onion you like, and we dice that onion up and cook it in the broth. So we've got onions, garlic, and ginger. And then we add spices to the broth, which include a couple of heaping tablespoons of oregano. Oregano oil is incredibly antiviral. Curry powder, curry spices help fight bacteria and illness. So I put a big heaping teaspoon in a pot of soup. You want to buy these things bulk at the natural food store. Cumin is another really nice spice from India that gives it kind of a whole, well-rounded flavor. And in the sweeter soup like squash, I also put a nice amount of coriander. Coriander is the seed from cilantro, and coriander and cilantro help detoxify metals from our body. I also have green chili powder, red chili powder, and you might put a half a teaspoon of one or the other of those. And I love crushed red pepper, so we put a little bit of that in. And so we've got this soup simmering away. And what I actually did is added a squash and a half to the soup earlier with these other ingredients. And then I took it and blended it in the blender. So it's a creamy soup. We are also going to add, for flavor and for goodness, a little bit of, this is hazelnut milk, but you could add rice milk, any kind of alternative to cow's milk, and it'll just give it a little sweetness and a little more creamy flavor. And then we are going to add a little bit more of the squash. And so we'll just cut this butternut squash up really quickly and throw a few pieces of that in there. Get some more chunks of squash into the soup because we've turned it into kind of a creamy broth. So we're going to chop those up, put them in, and our soup is done. Didn't take long, and we're going to dish up a bowl full. Yum, yum. I would rather eat my own soup than just about anything on the planet. That is really good.